friends, welcome to today's demo. And hello friends, welcome to demo. So today we're going to be doing the invisible ink craft. So years ago I learned about doing invisible ink with lemon juice. You can actually take lemon juice, you can actually write with like a Q-tip with lemon juice, and then when you heat set it you can see the writing come to life, which is kind of a cool technique. But for me personally, I was like, everyone's done that, I want to do something a little different. So years ago I made a craft for my friend, and it was a Harry Potter themed craft, and I wanted her to have something that she could reveal the letters. And so I did this technique, and it's with doing heat embossing. So we're going to be using a heat gun to melt the powder into our lettering. But when you use a certain kind of paper, you can't see the writings, which is why it's kind of fun. So today we're going to just take our pieces of paper. I want to make something tiny so that it's extra magical. And so we're taking a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and we're going to be cutting that in half. So we're just going to cut that in half at 5.5 inches, so it's small. And then I'm just going to pick my most favorite one from here. And I think that for today, I am actually going to choose probably the gold one. I know, it's gold, silver, white, and off-white are the colors I've chosen here. But any light color, this technique will work. If you choose a darker color paper, the technique is not as nice looking, and so this actually makes the most sense. All right, then we're going to be using the Versamark pens, and this is actually a clear ink. And so what we're going to be, it has two different tips on it. It has a bullet point, which is a fine point, and then on the other side it has the brush tip, so you can actually do fun lettering. Now when you're writing with this, you're not really going to be able to see what you're writing, so you may want to catch the light so that you can actually see the shine of the lettering, so then that way you can actually see what you're putting down. Otherwise you may accidentally write over something you've already written down. So I'm going to write a fun little magical message here. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's big. You can barely see the writing, but it says magical here. And so again, for those of you up here, you can just barely see the writing. So I'm gonna write a magical, and then I'm gonna write like a little secret message here. All right. Okay, so then you can take your time writing whatever message it is that you want to enjoy. For doing this craft, we're not going to write on the bottom or on the very top, probably about an inch worth, and that's because we're going to be adding something extra fun on those parts. All right, then we're going to be using clear embossing powder. So what we do is just take this little powder, we pour this over our paper here, and we're going to kind of cover the entire image so we can see our words. Now you can see that I wrote magical secret message.
Okay.
As my magical secret message. I know. So silly. I did reveal it. But I revealed it just temporarily. And so one, it can make sure that we can actually cover our powder or our entire words with the powder that we need. But also we can see if we missed a spot where we put our powder. And I realized the top of my L here, I actually did not cover all of it. All right, so now I can see that all of my writing has the powder on it. Now we're going to take our heat gun here. So this powder that we use is called powdered, it's a resin, it's a powdered resin. And so when you take a heat gun, it melts the powder in place. So we're going to make sure that we are not putting our fingers underneath the heat gun. We're just going to take this and we are just going to melt it. And you can see, Veronica, I don't know if you've seen this before, but watch how it melts as we move it across. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And as you melt it, it actually disappears, which is really fun. And so we're just going to melt that across this entire thing. And so we're not waving across like this because, oh my gosh, I realized I spelled message wrong. Oh, that's very funny. I can't believe I did that. That's so silly. I'm going to have to put my letter in. All right, so I got that all done. I have to. Oh, I wrote the letter A, but I turned it into a G by accident. Let's see if I can fit a letter A in here. I might have to redo it, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. You get the idea. Okay. I threw an A in there. We'll see if it will actually look okay. Yeah, it kind of works. All right, so now you can't see it at all. All right, so you can kind of see it, but not very well. So then, so if you want to do this for yourself and you want to reveal the messages, we'll do that in just a little bit. But if you want to give it to someone so that they can reveal the secret message, that can be extra fun. And so we're going to make it extra magical for that reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to use double-sided tape. So I'm going to take my double-sided tape. I'm going to pull off a piece that will fit on the top and at the bottom. I'm just going to stick that down right there. Because if you have just a plain piece of paper, it's not as exciting. I want to make it fun. It has to be exciting and fun because it's me. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off my film here on the top. And then I'm going to decide what kind of fun little tassel-y things I want to hang. So I'm going to hang them off of the edge. And I'm going to stick them onto my double-sided tape. And I want my tassels to hang about the equal distance on the left and right. And I'm going to do the same tassels up the bottom. I'm just going to hang that up. So these little things on the side are just going to be little dangly things that will kind of be flailing in the wind, but they'll be fun. All right, and then I want to add in, I have some of this fun ribbon that actually, when it unravels, it actually looks like a tassel, so that's kind of cool. You could put those on the sides. I think for mine, I did one earlier already, so this, I'll show you the other one I did, but I'm doing this one different than I did my first one. So I want to actually add on some leaf ribbon. So for adding on my leaf ribbon, I might be able to stick it onto my double-sided tape, but if not, I can always put another piece of tape down. So I want my little leaves. I love the little leaves. They're so much fun. They're so beautiful. Yeah. And they go with so many different things. Also, especially because right now it's kind of almost like springtime. I love that the spring is kind of in the air, and that kind of makes me want to do more botanicals and more leaves and flowers and things. All right, then I'm going to stick this other piece of tape across all of these here. I'm going to do that at the bottom, and then I'm also going to do the same thing at the top. And we'll stick that on here like so. Then we're going to take the wide stuff. So I wanted to put this at the bottom. If you were to do a silver one, this one would be really beautiful for the bottom because it has more of a filigree. I'm going to make sure that my ribbon is cut straight on the side here. And I'm going to put that right up against flush with the edge of my paper. So this thicker stuff is not hanging off of the edge. Everything else is. So when I trim this, I want to make sure that I'm not accidentally trimming off my other ribbons as well. I'm only going to trim the thicker stuff. I know, it's very thick, but it is very, very fun. All right, and then we're going to put this across the top here. This ribbon is super strange because, I don't know if you saw this, it's actually elastic, it's stretchy. Yeah. We're not going to use it for the stretchy aspect today, but it is just kind of fun and kind of weird. I really like it. All right, so now that you have your little scroll, your little bits on the sides, we're going to turn this into a scroll. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wrap this up like this into a little fun scroll. If you want to do it just one way like that, that's great. I want to make mine a double scroll because that's the kind of person that I am. So I'm going to then wind it from the other direction. So then I can have my double scroll like so, because that just seems way more magical, like it's more exciting, more regal. It's more regal, more fairy, that's right. And then we're going to use our wide ribbon here. We're going to wrap this around the middle. So then that way everything is locked in place. And so then that way you can unwrap your scroll, but it will stay in place if you need to gift it to someone. And we're going to finish that off with an amazing seal sticker. And I have the gold seal stickers that we will then lay down on top of that. Okay, so that is how our invisible ink time, that's how that goes. And then you have all your little tassel-y things hanging off of the end, and it's very, very, very fun. All right, so now I'm going to show you about revealing the message. Also, I have another one that I made earlier. This is a different color. So this is more of a silver and white. And so this just pulls right off, and then you can see that you have your message inside. Yes. So we are going to reveal this message together. Now when you're revealing your message, you probably are going to need to roll your scroll the other way so that you can actually see your message. All right, so on this one, to reveal the message, you're going to want to use watercolor. So if you would like to reveal your message today, you can, or you can gift it to someone, and that would also be very fun. I tend to use a watercolor that's a little darker, so then that way I can reveal my image. So I have a black watercolor here, and I'm just going to take this, and I can see with the light that there is a little bit of, there's a little bit of a message. I can see where the message is at, so it's a little bit glossy, so I can see this. All right, so it says, "Psst, this is a secret message." And then the secret message is, "I love you." Woo! Isn't that cute? And then at the bottom, I drew a cute little rainbow. Yeah, so it's kind of fun. But then you can kind of reveal your little image here. And so what's happening here at the base of where our invisible ink is, that's actually acting as a resist. So you actually cannot, you guys can read that okay. Oh, it's a little hard to read, but it says, "This is a secret message. I love you." And that's kind of fun. And so what we'll do here, just to make it look a little bit more revealed, is I'm going to grab a paper towel. And then we'll dab off any excess water. and dab off any extra here so I can see my message.
So you could use whatever color you wanted.
Whatever color you wanted, but yes, I just thought that was pretty fun. So this is a secret message, I love you, and I thought that was pretty sweet. And so with your little, what's cool about this paper specifically is that actually you could actually, if you wanted to, spritz water on it and actually wipe away the watercolor, and then it would be set up and ready to go again, which is kind of fun, especially if you were, you know, wanting to have a little secret message, but then you wanted it to be secret again. So I thought that was kind of fun. All right, so that is our fun secret message invisible ink craft today, and that's how that goes. So that's what we're doing.
So this is sort of water.
A little bit water resistant. It's not going to be completely waterproof, but it is very fun to reveal the message, and I thought that was kind of cute. And so when you're giving it to your recipient, you might want to let them know you can use watercolors. You could also use spray inks, and that would also be fine.
Yes.
But I like the idea of using a watercolor because then it's just it's not as permanent or messy. And then to put your little scroll little piece back on, you just wrap this around and just slide that down. Pull the little tails out from behind our little piece there. And that will lock that in place, so then you have your fun little scroll you can take with you, or you can leave it for someone to find, because that would be pretty fun. All right, so that is our invisible ink craft today, my friends. So
here's a thought. Would you draw a fairy map?
Oh, that would be so much fun! I think that to draw a fairy map, it would take me longer than just a moment, but that would be very, very cool if you did a little fairy map. Probably what I would do if I was doing a fairy map is I would draw part of it and then do the heat embossing and then draw the other part of the map, so then that way parts of it didn't like dry. Or like a little treasure map. Yes! Oh, that would be so much fun. All right, friends, if you guys would like to stay to make our little craft today, it's just $5. And then this craft will be set up for a full week. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye!